Amazing, amazing. So, I mean, particularly today, which part of your journey that I wanted to focus, one was definitely your traveling spree.
Okay.
And the second thing was learning through distraction. I feel 2013 is when you sort of travel all these 4 countries, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, 2013, 2014, I think. Yeah.
Super awesome.
You know better than I do. I'm so bad with dates.
Not at all. So yeah, I think today's generation, or the young ones today, if you were 18 today, you probably have a smartphone plugged in with earphones, and you're distracted all throughout the day with all the notifications that come, right? If someone is supposed to do this today, what are the challenges that you feel they would be facing, and how could they sort of cope up with them?
Yeah, well, I've always felt the technology is kind of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, everything you're talking about is true. It's clearly not the case that with the world's knowledge at our fingertips, we've all become these kind of like scholars. No, we mostly just, browse TikTok and Reddit and stupid cat videos and stuff. This is what we do. And I think I'm not even saying that to be like crotchety and judgmental. I think it's just human nature to be drawn to things that have this kind of novelty and information value. That's like very deep in our hardwiring. So I don't think it's something that if you aren't really intentional about this is how I want to spend my limited mental bandwidth, my limited time on this planet. If you don't make that decision, then that is the default, is that you're going to get sort of sucked into this. And so I do think that there is a disadvantage there, but I also think it goes the other way too, that like, it's not wrong. We do actually have the world's knowledge at our fingertips. Like if you wanted to learn just about anything, there's like a plethora of resources right now to be able to do it. So, even take the example of learning Mandarin Chinese. Yeah, I follow this blog, Language Log, and it has this great linguist, Victor Mar. I think his name is Mayer, maybe. And he is a sinologist. He's very erudite scholar of Chinese language. And he talks a lot about how difficult it was for him to learn to read Chinese. But then you hear him describe his process, and it's like, well, that was back in the day when you had paper dictionaries. So you read a sentence and you don't know a word, and then you have to look up the word in the dictionary, which is really difficult. You have to figure out what the radical is, and you're browsing through and you're finding in this kind of thing. And so it's just really, really effortful to do. Now, you have your phone like this, and there's little apps that you can just like tap on the text and it'll tell you what the characters mean. And there's flashcards for doing this. And there's like even things that will correct your handwriting, stroke order and stuff without a teacher. So, I mean, I think the point I want to make is that we live in a world where, yes, there's lots of distractions, there's lots of difficulties, but there's also lots of opportunities. And so I think it's important to focus on those opportunities and focus on, all the ways that we can improve ourselves that are really quite recent. Even my MIT challenge idea, it would not have been possible had I tried to do it like 5 years before I tried to do it, or 10 years, it would have been actually impossible. MIT courseware, I think, was about 10 years old when I had it, but even 5 years, there wouldn't have been enough material to do it. And so we're really looking at this small window. Now, I mean, there's always been textbooks. You can always go to a library. So I don't want to say that it's been literally impossible to teach yourself things, but I think the fact that we now have access to so much material means that, for someone who is dedicated, someone who really wants to learn these things, it is actually possible to do it in a way that it might have been, 4 or 5 times as much effort a generation ago.